We got to get into the legendary Lion King.
No, absolutely. Shout out to my mom, Marilyn Haywood, aka Kitty Haywood. Elton John had popped up on the set of the Jacksons one afternoon while I was performing live. Unbeknownst to me at the time, one of the ADs or the producers introduced him to my mom.
Right.
And he was like, I'd like to meet your son. So my mom introduced me to Elton, and I didn't really know who he was like that. I was familiar kind of with Benny and the Jets, but I didn't really know, you know what I mean? The next day I got a call from, we got a call from my agent, and she said, hey, you know, Disney just called, they're doing this thing. It wasn't called The Lion King at first, it was called King in the Jungle. That was the working title. They want Jason to audition for one of the singing voices in the thing. The day after I rapped on the Jacksons, I got in a recording studio. Disney had set up cameras similar to this.
Yeah.
And there was a microphone there, and they just had me sing, I Just Can't Wait to Be King. I learned it there at the studio. And I sang Hakuna Matata. I learned that at the studio that day. And another song that eventually they didn't use in the film called Warthog Rhapsody. And so I sang those 3 songs that day. And then when I was done, they were like, oh, Jason, that's brilliant. Yeah. I think we're gonna rock with you, man. Like, I think you got this role. And they said, oh, as a matter of fact, would you mind going in? Because Jonathan Taylor Thomas, his deal was still being negotiated. So I auditioned for the speaking voice as well, and was like 2 centimeters away from getting that, but right as we had closed out the session, they closed out his deal.
Okay.
I ended up still getting the role of the singing voice of Simba and the Lion King, and yeah, the next day Disney Business Affairs called to negotiate the terms of the deal. And I just remember my mother on the phone, she was talking to my agent, and she was like, well, I don't know, I think that we can do better, but you know, let me talk to Jason. And you know, to my mother's credit, that was something that she always did.
Right.
Even at a young age, she was teaching me my worth and my value at the negotiating table. So she sat down and discussed the terms of the deal with me and the stipulations in the agreement, and we went over it and we redlined it together. And then we went back to my agent and we said, well, this is what we kind of looking for. And then my agent redlined it some more. And so Disney, of course, as you should, they counter back like, oh, well, we're not willing to do that. And, you know, we're only willing to pay him this much. And that's it, as a flat fee. And she basically said, well, if you want him, then you're going to have to, you know, honor this agreement that we've set forth, that we've countered. And thanks to Disney for doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, they that's not how they usually negotiated back then.
Right.
But they saw something in me where they felt that I was worth it, and I appreciate them not only for giving me that opportunity, but treating me with respect.